Hello everybody, welcome to art class. We're going to be doing some botanical drawing. I just want to say hi first. I'm just going to turn my camera around. Hi everybody, welcome back to school. Hope you had a good summer and you're ready to do lots of learning and lots of fun art. I love making my own art. I do ceramics and drawing, and I'm looking forward to teaching art class to you this year. And we're going to start with a botanical drawing class today. So I'm just going to turn my camera around and show you some techniques. I'm just showing you, this is what we're going to learn how to make. It's a fun way of drawing plants, and we're going to prepare the paper first. And it'll end up being a bit like this, a bit like a patchwork. One thing that I find scary is having a big piece of white paper. It can be very daunting, a bit like this, and it's just white. And somebody says, let's go and draw some plants. And it can be quite scary. So I'm going to show you a few fun ways to get over that initial white paper scare. I just want to take a minute to show you an artist that I really like. This is a Scottish artist. Actually, he's most famous for architecture, called Charles Rennie Mackintosh. But what I really like is his botanical drawings of plants. And what's I really find interesting is the way he's really looked at the structure of the plant, if you look carefully. He's really looked at the stamens and the petal shapes, and some of them are even overlapping. And I also like the way he labels his drawings. So just carefully look at that. And we're going to be thinking about line when we're drawing today, when we're looking at the plants. And he's not worried too much. He's not really added any shading. It's just really about the structure of the plant. Okay, let's find another one to show you. And even if you end up being an architect, it's very important to draw. And he used all his botanical drawings, led back into his architectural work and into the buildings he made. Here's another beautiful drawing. And he's written larkspur, which is the name of the flower. But you can see the petal shapes and the stalks. And here's another one. It's just really beautiful work. Okay. Right. So how to get started? So you're gonna get a piece of paper like this, big. It's like double the size of printer paper. And the first thing we're going to do is going to fold it, and each section needs to be big enough to add a drawing in, like this one's half done. Okay, and you don't have to be straight lines. This one's got some diagonals, and this one has. Or you can do some straight lines. Okay, but the spaces need to be big enough to do a drawing in, is the idea. This one does have some smaller ones, but there's also balance with some big ones. If they were all tiny, then all your drawings would end up tiny. So just bear that in mind. So you get your big piece, and you want some straight lines. So I'm just going to folding this in, and I'm matching up the edges. So now I've got one long section there. Now I want to do a diagonal. I'm going to fold it. Let's see, I'm going to fold it all the way across like that, into a triangle. Okay, like this. And so I've got this big area here and this little triangle here. So those are perfect for drawing in. Now I might want to just divide that there. So I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to fold it like that. Okay, so I've got that, like that. So let's see what we're up to. I've got this very big area here, and I want to divide that in half. So I'm going to do one more fold, I think. And I'm going to do it here. So I've got some long, narrow ones. Okay, that's it. And I'm going to drop these samples off at MCS so that you can look at my how I did it. Okay, so I don't want to go any smaller than that. I've got one teeny tiny one that's quite interesting, and I've got one triangle there, but all the rest are quite even. Or if I didn't want a diagonal, I could just do it all straight. I could fold it in half, this. And let's say in half again, and you can have it all quite equal. So far I've got 4 pieces like that, and then I could fold it in here, like that, and I could fold it like that. So now I've just got 8 equal size shapes to draw in, so you could do it like that. How I came up with this idea is when I did a drawing class in the Yorkshire Dales, where I come from. There's a lot of fields with animals in, and dry stone walls, and that's what I talk to the children about there. Like, we're making almost like a field design to work on before we start. The idea is that I'm going to show you how to paint them. I'm just going to add some colour on to each section to get rid of the white paper. Then once you've done that, you can fold back an area to work on, like this. It can all be folded back. Then you'd have a clipboard like this, and you clip it on, and you would just work on the one area at a time and slowly fill up the areas with plan drawings. And don't worry about which way around you do it. That's kind of the fun bit. So then you don't see what you've done until you open it all out. Okay, I folded it all away as I did it. Worked on one thing at a time, like this. I did my flower, and I did this leaf drawing, did the fern. And see how I've tried to add on some of the labelling as well onto each plant. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to put some washes of colour onto your paper. So I'll do about each of these. You don't want the colour to be really dark. It's just like a stain. I mean, I went quite bright on some of these, but you could make them all quite, kind of almost like a tea stain, just a way of getting rid of the white paper. So you're creating your own canvas to work on. I'll show you. Oh yeah, I mean, if you look back at Rennie Mackintosh's work, he has kind of a stain on his paper that's sort of cream. So and this one's a nice yellow colour. And we're going to just be working in a fine, extra fine tip Sharpie on the top of our colour. If you want to, you could add a bit of colour after the pen. I haven't done that, but you could. Nothing's ruled out. But we're really thinking about structure. So I've just got some watercolour paints here. I'm just going to get a palette, actually. There's one. Yes. And I've got a palette here, and you really want that colour to be quite watery. You don't want it to be really, really dark. So, paintbrush. And I've got some water here, and I'll just show you how to mix the colour. Just wetting my brush, and I'm going to dip a little bit into the orange, put it here, a little bit of yellow, put it in there. Then I'm going to add lots of water. And I'm going to bring my folded paper back, and we're just going to paint that one area. Might add a tiny bit of orange. If you want to, you can kind of graduate the colour, just keep it quite watery. Don't rub away at your paper painting, because it will just destroy the surface of the paper. You'll end up with really rough. So we're just gently painting the paper. Okay. Like this. Okay. I'm going to move on to another shape. While that one's drying, you don't want, if you paint that one there, it will run into it. So I recommend you leave a gap. I'm going to go off here and work on this area now. I'm going to pick another colour. Let's see, maybe kind of an olivey green. So I'm going to mix it into that yellow there. Again, plenty of water. Add a bit of yellow ochre here. And I'll work on this triangle here. So it's just a light, I've got a fairly big paintbrush. It doesn't matter too much if you go over the shapes, it's just trying to stick to that one area. That colour down, and then while those are drying I might work on this area here. Let's see, I might do a pale reddy colour, reddy orange. Work over here. So I've not gone very dark, it's just, and it will dry quite light. We're just putting like a stain on the paper. And then eventually you can come over here and work here and next to this. So you sort of build up like a patchwork. It's almost like a fabric you're designing here, okay? Until it looks a bit like this, okay? And this is your piece that you're going to work on. So I'm just going to go over a few tips when you're drawing next. Let's move this water away. So I'm guessing, I think you were supposed to be going outside to draw, but because of the smoke, you might be bringing the plants inside. And I'm just going to show you a couple of plants you might be drawing. So what do I have here? I've got, these are blackberry leaves, the good ones, they've got lovely shapes. And what else? I love drawing ferns. And there's different kinds of ferns, like they're on the grounds of NCS, I'm sure. And what else? I've got ivy here. And this is Oregon grape. So they're all like native plants, which I think is what you are looking at. And then you're going to have your extra fine Sharpie. Here's mine. And if you want to, you can use a pencil. Here it is. Somewhere I've got them. You could also use a magnifying glass so you can really look at the structure and all the detail. And I did have one here. Just to put it down somewhere. Which is really handy because you can go up and really look at the detail. So I'll just show you how I would draw this. So if you want to, just to get started, think about how that shape's going to fit onto your shape. So I'm going to start here, and in fact fold away some of the areas that you don't need. Let's see. So I've got this here. I've got my shape lined up. I've got my leaf here, and it doesn't matter if your leaves go off this area, but try and contain it in this space. So I'm going to put a pencil line just where sort of want the stalk to go, and the beginning of that leaf is there, and this one is here. And this one is here, and they kind of layer up, don't they? And I'm taking them right off the paper like that. Here is my... So the magnifying glass is great because you can really look at the detail. You could also draw it in large certain areas. You could just do one of these leaves like that. And then, let's see, look at the shapes between the leaves as well, the negative spaces. So I'm not pressing down very hard with the pencil, I'm just putting a little bit of structure here to help me. And now I'm going to go in with the pen. So we're just looking at line and the veins and the edge of the leaf here. So it's got these tiny little pricks going up here and here. Again, look at the veins and where they go on the leaf. Now I'm looking at the stalk structure. Now I'm going to go back in and add some of the veins in here. And I'd probably spend a little bit longer on this, but I'm going to move on because I just wanted to give you an idea. Then when I've finished all the veins, I might think about the labelling, and I might put it along, you could put it along the stalk. This is Oregon grape. Just remember that I didn't spend long on the pencil. That was just sort of to give me a little bit of guidance before I went into the leaves, just so you've got an idea of where you're going really with the stalk. So things like this daisy, I did the whole thing in there, and the fern kind of went out off the edges. But yeah, make sure you fold the pieces back while you're working on it so you're not distracted. Also, you can just, you don't have to use pencil at all. You can just, I'll show you another one, just to give you an idea. Let's see what else I got to draw. This is a maple leaf, I think. So I could just move the clipboard out. The clipboard was mainly if you were outside and you need something to lean on. But if you end up working in the classroom, then you could just lay it out in front of you. Just don't pick anything that's a bit like rare or unusual. Just check with the teachers which plants you're allowed to pick. So this time he's going to do it without the pencil. So it's really important to look while you're drawing. So taking your eyes back and forth to the paper. Look at where the veins go. They're going to like the tips of these structures, the leaf structure. Just keep looking. That's all I can say is just keep looking at the detail. It's really good training for your eyes, and the more you do it, the better you get at spotting all the lovely details. And actually this edge I've drawn has this, it's quite spiky, so I might go back over that and kind of work into that a bit more. Okay, so I think I've covered everything, and I will leave these things for you to look at, but you should all end up with a piece like this. You know, try and do a different plant in each of your boxes, or if like they think these are the same plants, but I did a close-up of the fruit and then a close-up of the leaf, so you've got something to refer back to. And then later on we're going to do some printmaking, and this will be a great resource to look at when you start doing printmaking. Okay, the main thing is have fun and don't get too caught up about worrying about your drawing. It's about the experience, about learning to look and learning about the structure of the plant, and I hope you have fun doing it, and look forward to seeing your work. Okay, enjoy your art class. Bye for now.